Welcome back to the Money Mastery Unleashed podcast. This is Adam Olson, your host with you today. And today I want to talk to you guys about unlocking retirement happiness. Today I'm going to give you 5 keys to having a fulfilling and happy retirement. Now, I talk about these extensively in my book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan, which you guys can find on Amazon or it's available on my website, adam.olson.com. Now, there's a lot more to retirement than just money. So in order to have a happy and successful retirement, you need to have purpose, you need to have security, you need to have a guaranteed paycheck, and there's also a couple other things that I'm going to talk to you about today in this video. You see, I've worked with dozens, if not hundreds of clients in helping them retire. I found that these are the 5 keys that you need to have in order to have a happy, fulfilling, and successful retirement. And a lot of times people have in their mind what they're retiring from. You know, they want to retire from work. They want to have to retire from getting up every morning. They want to have to retire from responsibilities. But people don't stop to think about what they're retiring to. What are you going to be doing in retirement? What are you going to be filling your time with in retirement? How are you going to be spending your time, your money, and your expertise in retirement? Oftentimes, that's more important than what you're retiring from. So in today's episode, I really want you to think about these 5 keys that I'm going to give you, and I want you to think about what you're going to be retiring to, not what you're going to be retiring from. Let's get started with number 1. What is the number 1 key to having a happy, successful, and fulfilling retirement? Number 1, having no debt. If you can enter retirement with no house payment, no car payment, no boat payment, no RV payment, that is a huge key to success and having a happy retirement. Having no payments, it's an awesome feeling to have, and if you can enter retirement with no payments, no monthly things that are coming due for you inside of your paycheck, that's going to be an awesome thing for you to experience. You see, having no payments gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility with your retirement budget. It allows you to be more free with your money, giving where you want to give, spending where you want to spend, and you're not being tied to a certain payment for a house, car, or boat. There's a weight that gets lifted off your shoulders when you have no debt that you're responsible for. When everything in your life is paid for, there's a debt, there's a release that you get from that. And that is the number 1 key to having a happy retirement, having no debt in retirement. Number 2, the second most important thing is going to be a guaranteed paycheck. Now, most of you will probably get some form of Social Security in retirement time, and that is a huge benefit. But Social Security isn't enough. If you get a pension on top of that, that's awesome. However, there's not a lot of pensions out there anymore. So a lot of clients that we work with choose to get lifetime income from an annuity contract. These are contracts that are provided by insurance companies. And these annuity contracts can provide you a lifetime income. In addition to that, there's also riders that you can tack onto these annuity contracts that give you more income as time goes on. You see, a lot of people stress when they get close to retirement or into retirement about their portfolio, about the money that they have invested in the market. Because if the market goes down, they have less money to retire on. They have less money to spend. But if you have a guaranteed paycheck coming from Social Security, a pension, or an annuity contract, or all 3, every week, every month, however you structure it, you're going to have a set amount coming in. And knowing that that's coming in just like your paycheck when you were working is a huge stress reliever. You don't have to be looking at your portfolio and worrying about stocks going down or losing money in the market. Now, that can be part of your retirement strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. We implement that for our clients. But having a guaranteed paycheck is going to give you safety and security and peace of mind in retirement, knowing that every week, every month, that paycheck's coming no matter what the market does. I always tell clients you can't take your 401k balance or your IRA balance to the supermarket and spend it, but you can take that paycheck that you're going to be getting from an annuity contract, a pension, or your Social Security benefit. Let's move on to number 3. This is an often overlooked one, just like I've talked about on these first 2. Number 3 is having a purpose in retirement. You see, Tony Robbins talks about the basic human needs, which are certainty, variety, significance, relationships, growth, and contribution. And he talks about that people need these things inside of their life in order to have a fulfilling and successful life. Well, guess what? You also need them in retirement. You have to know what your purpose is in retirement. You can't retire and just plan on having nothing to do, waking up every day with a blank slate. That's not good. You have to have certainty. You know, these are the things that I'm doing every week. No matter what, I'm doing X, Y, and Z every week. Certainty. But then you also need some variety. You need to spice things up in a little bit of your retirement. Maybe you take a vacation. Maybe you're doing volunteering for a month here or there. Maybe you're helping out with a kid's summer camp here or there. And you also need to have significance. If somebody needs you for certain things, you're going to have a purpose. You're going to have a reason to wake up in the morning. I know that for me, when I wake up 2 days a week, we do fitness classes. I know that those 2 days a week, I'm getting up early, jumping out of bed quick because people depend on me to be there to help run the operation. That's what gets me out of bed on those 2 mornings. Number 4 here is relationships. You have to have relationships with people who are in similar life stages and different life stages than you to keep you sharp, to keep you active, to keep you top of mind on everything that you're doing in growth. You need to continue to grow too, not only as a person, but inside of your family life as well. You need to continue to grow as a person in retirement as well. And the last one, contribution. It kind of goes back to significance. If somebody needs you, they value you, and you're able to contribute to something that's greater than yourself, that's going to be a key to having purpose in retirement as well. Oftentimes I tell people to think about, what is your perfect day? What does your perfect day look like? And if you can imagine that over and over and over again in your retirement, that's going to lead to a fulfilling retirement. You see, your entire life, you've gained a ton of knowledge, whether it's the industry that you're in, life, common sense, whatever it is. And you see, if you don't pass that knowledge on to the next generation, it's lost. It's gone. It's nowhere to be found. So if you can find purpose in passing your knowledge on to the next generation, I promise you, that's going to lead to a fulfilling retirement for you. Number 4, let's talk about this. Social connections. Being part of clubs, being part of organizations, being part of nonprofits. That is a huge thing for you to have in retirement as well, outside of work. So whether it's serving on a board of a nonprofit that you're able to put more time into in retirement, maybe it's serving at your church, doing more on Sundays at your church, maybe it's the kids program in your community that you're spending more time in. It's important for you to have social connections where people need on you, depend on you, you're able to add value and use your expertise to help that organization out. You need to have a lot of social connections for you outside of work. Because if you pull work out of the equation and that is the only social interaction that you ever have during the week, during the months, you might find yourself pretty lonely and out of touch with society if you enter retirement without those social connections. So join some leagues, join some clubs, donate your time to a nonprofit, and continue to do more of those things in retirement, and that will lead to happiness at retirement time. The last thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is your health. So if you don't have your health, you don't have much in retirement. And what a lot of people do is they really neglect this during their working years, and it makes it so much harder to get that health back in retirement. You see, we're not promised a day, we're not promised a month, we're not promised years in retirement. We don't know how long it's going to last. But if you do take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally, you'll find yourself have more energy, more enthusiasm in retirement, which will lead to a happier retirement in all. So you need to maintain your physical health. Use exercise. Make smart lifestyle choices. Always continue to use your mind as well. You want to continue to read. You want to continue to do puzzles. You want to continue to do anything that keeps you sharp mentally is a good thing to continue on in retirement time. Preventative health care will go a long way for your future retirement. We oftentimes talk about the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. But if you enter retirement and you're not able to go right away, you might not be too happy just sitting around being unable to walk, unable to move, stiff, sore all the time. So don't forget your health, and don't forget that that's going to lead to a happier retirement as well. So I want to recap to you guys everything that I talked about today in this episode. We talked about how to gain happiness, how to be happy in retirement. What are 5 keys to that? Number 1, to recap it for you, no debt. Number 2, get a guaranteed paycheck. Number 3, find purpose. Remember, we all have needs that need to be met during our life to be fulfilled. Certainty, variety, significance, relationships, growth, and contribution. If you can check the box on all of those, that will be a fulfilling and a happy retirement for you. Number 5, don't forget about social connections and fostering those, growing those outside of work. And lastly, health. you need to maintain your health, because if you don't have your health in retirement, you really will be lacking in all areas. If you can't move, you can't be mobile, that's not going to lead to a happy retirement. So don't neglect your health in retirement. And if you want to read more about these or find more about these, I would encourage you guys to grab a copy of my book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan. Again, it's available on Amazon and it's available on my website. The Red Zone Retirement account that I talk about in my book, it really helps you foster and grow these areas in order for you to live a happy and fulfilling lifestyle. If you enjoy this episode, I would encourage you to like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned to the Money Mastery Unleashed podcast, coming out weekly to give you more tips to living a successful and fulfilling life into retirement. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee if an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59.5, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.